Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of Trombone First Aid. Today we are talking about high register. To build high register, it's fundamental to have spent a lot of time in the low register so that you can acquire a lot of experience how to manage your airflow and how to be really efficient. Practicing long time the high register is not convenient, it's not healthy, because you may risk to take bad habits. Playing the low register will let you learn how to modify your airflow without occurring into these problems. Low register is a very good school for high register, because then you have to use a lot of air and being able to manage all this. When you go high, the natural tendency is to close your body, to close your throat, and this is not helping the final result. That's why playing low can really teach you how to produce a free flow of air. And then when we go high, we should remember of what we learned and try to apply it anyway, even if naturally we could tend to close our body. This tendency of making everything more narrow is because we think we can be more in control. Actually, thinking that everything should be narrow and tense is working against us, because as for the low register, resonance is made of elasticity. So when you are tense and you constrict, it's not working properly, and you get sound which is a bit more rough, tense, and not really warm. To achieve this warmth in the higher register, you really need to master the airflow. One kind of exercise that could really help to build a strong and reliable high register is playing something in the mid register and then the same up. So you set your standard and you can compare if when you go high you do something strange with your body, you add extra tension, or you do something with your sound which is not pleasant. This could be useful. Also, playing like Bordogni, like it's written, or one octave higher. Just keep in mind that differently than when you play in the low octave, high register is more delicate, so you don't need to get tired. Whenever you get tired, it means that probably you are doing something wrong. So go back to the center and get the good feeling of playing in the comfortable zone. So this movement from the comfort zone to the extreme, both high and low, is very useful to keep in your mind what is the final quality you want to achieve. So you don't get lost in this research, and you don't get far away from your first goal. Glissato can also be very useful for building the high register, and I suggest this kind of exercise where you connect all the notes and sometimes you switch octave lower just to fit in the standard of quality you want to achieve. so on. You could continue until you feel like, okay, you're doing it right. Whenever you feel something is moving or doing just because you want to cheat, then stop, because you have to feel like it's comfortable, like in the lower register. As a general rule, when you start practicing the high register, I suggest not to use the tongue. So just go for glissato and legato stuff, so that you can really master the airstream. Sometimes you may be required to play high notes quite loud and staccato or with accent. So the best way I know to do that is playing with a lot of fast air and almost no tongue at all. Rely on these little muscles is not really convenient. So it's much better to give the job to air. So we use our lungs, our diaphragm, and everything. It is using much stronger muscles. So your endurance will get a lot of benefit for it. Of course, embouchure must be strong, but mostly in the corners, as I said for the lower register. Whenever you keep upper and lower lip tense, then you lose something in the sound. So corners will be necessarily tight and tense, and your lips will be more towards your teeth. On the other side, when you go low, I encourage you to let your lips get inside the mouthpiece. But even if you play high, you never have to close your mouth, because air should always go through your lips. That's why I like doing some kind of exercise, going one octave high and basing this jump on the lower note. Then, also, when you see that you're doing something strange, stop. Air should always go through your lips, and the bass sound, so the lower octave, has already the upper harmonics inside. So just think the lower note to embrace the higher one. So just you have to change your airspeed to get to the high notes. The feeling is that the high note is already inside the low note. Once again, tension and tongue are enemies for high notes, because they both work against a natural fluent airflow, and tension reduces our possibility to resonate, so to make our sound rich and projected. I always recommend you to go down in the mid-low register whenever you start feeling tension in the higher register, because this is the limit. So you can push it day by day, and you can build up your higher register gradually. Don't be too anxious to go on, but work hard every day with brain. So don't get yourself smashed, just practice in a clever and wise way. I hope you found this video interesting. If you liked it, please put like down and subscribe my channel. If you have any question or any comment, please write down below. I will try to read and answer as soon as possible. As I said, this is not going to be a trombone lesson. It's just my tips and hints to my students, which I would like to make it public for everyone who may be interested. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next episode.